of here. This is private property. Get back in that thing, turn it around, and drive back to the road you came off of, and tell your partners that there's no one and nothing of interest up here.
Partners, no, you're mistaken.
That sign up there said no trespassing. You should have paid attention. You could get shot.
Oh, you wouldn't do that. Oh, well, maybe you would. But you'd be wrong.
And you'd be dead. What do you think that warning shot meant?
Warning shot? I heard somebody's engine backfire, and that's what I thought I heard.
Well, safer for you to stop thinking and get.
Oh, look at me. I'm unarmed, harmless, friendly.
Cronies are the last thing I'm looking for. Go on, get on your way. If I needed them, I'd have put a classified ad in the paper.
Hey, did you see the picture of old Pickle Puss Calvin Coolidge in today's paper, huh? In full Indian regalia?
I'm no Republican. I thought I told you to make yourself scarce.
Yeah, I'm going to just a tick. You're Mr. Finnegan, aren't you?
Now, you know damn well I am. They told you.
No. My name is Gray. Could we talk for a few minutes?
I have nothing to say to anybody.
Well, maybe not, but you don't want to be as tight-mouthed as old Calvin now, do you?
Well, now that's what I like about him. He don't go around shooting off his face, making a fool out of himself.
Well, you sure know how to put a fella in his place.
Stay where you are.
I just want to talk.
Sell whatever it is from there.
No, you got me wrong. Look, no order blanks, no display cases, just me passing through these parts. I was down in town, and at the pool hall, some bozo recommended a view of the Mississippi from up here.
Oh, you shoot pool and admire scenery. Are those profitable occupations?
Well, I'm still working on my first million. Yeah, but you know, they were right. Sparkles in the sun is damned impressive.
Damn private. Now look, if you and your bunch have got it into your head...
I'm alone. I keep telling you, I'm alone.
Maybe you are.
Whoever you think I'm with, I'm not.
Now, if somebody confided into you that moonshine was on sale up here, they steered you wrong.
Nothing like that, I assure you.
Don't assure me.
God, whatever happened to Midwest hospitality?
Oh, have your look.
Thanks.
Which direction you say you were traveling in?
Oh, around. From here, I'll probably head south. Maybe to Texas, maybe even Florida. Or out west, California. There's opportunity.
And there'll be scenery. You'll get your fill.
Oh, I've rattled around, always on the go.
Oh, well, in that case...
No, I've never stopped. Maybe I should have, at least long enough to sit and take stock.
Well, if you excuse me, I have things to do.
That's okay, I'll wait. Is that one of them crossword things? I've never tackled one personally myself, but I know they're all the rage. On the train a few months ago, I was sitting in the parlor car going all bug-eyed over this article I was reading in the Pink Police Gazette, the lowdown on this Follies girl and the little jockey. Well, sir, as soon as I turned around, the porter was passing out dictionaries right and left, and the passengers were all huddled over their puzzles, just studying away. You could practically feel the thought vibrations coming at you.
I suppose you ducked.
Yeah, well, I'm a fellow who prefers a good conversation.
I never would have guessed that. 9 letters. Warmed leftover hash.
Say, mind if I,
Huh?
Well, you people sure have a lot of fun. It's nice to keep up the latest things. I always try to.
Now goulash doesn't fit. Fricassee? No.
I can feel the thought vibrations. Must be a sweet life up here along the river. Peaceful. Living alone, if you do. I suppose you lived here all your life.
I'm losing patience with you.
I know you're kind of edgy. Look, I'm gonna be leaving, but I like to know if you always go by your full name, Mr. Finnegan.
You're damn nosy.
Or have you a nickname?
What?
Something your friends call you for short. You ever hear of a fellow named Darcy Stokes? Harold Graham? Bill Hoskins, a fat kid with freckles?
You're after something. All these questions about local people.
I never said they were local, but they were. You ever know of a gang of fellas who collected dead cats to make their warts disappear? You know of the boy who hooked off to go fishing, and when he got back, the whole town was in church attending his funeral. You ever go down the river on a raft? In fact, did you know a fella who rafted all the way down the Mississippi with a black handyman named Jim?
I don't know what you're blabbing about, but I want you off my land.
No cause to get-
I mean now.
Did you say you didn't know those fellas? No, I guess you didn't say that or much of anything else. Well, if you never met them, then I guess you got nothing I want.
I never met him.
Well, then I give up. You're not who I'm looking for.
Glad you finally got that through your head.
You know, I don't know whether anybody ever told you or not, but this hill has a history. Friendships got started up here and grew as sturdy as them sunflowers. This was home. Maybe you could help me. I was wondering.
No more questions. Now look, you looked at the river and we ended our conversation. On your way.
Oh. Phoebe Lewis. Thought I
Nope.
heard it.
Nope. Lady Althea. 900 pounds of silver dollars made that bell. Oh, the Phoebe Lewis burned near Memphis years ago. Goodbye, Mr. Gray. On your way.
You don't like me very much, do you?
Like you? Hell no. Why should I?
Lots of people have.
Well, how nice for you.
I've made 500, 700 at a time take to me. Pay as much as 75 cents for the privilege. Well, the cheap seats, they only had to give 2 bids.
In 11 letters, Mr. Gray, a tale of dubious dimensions. Cock and bull.
Cock and bull. No, sir. I'm vaudeville. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the remaining half of that well-known vaudeville team of Thomas Gray and Tilly Green, artistes extraordinaire.
Gray and green sounds like a brew.
The one, the only, Mr. Thomas Gray.
Now that's kind of silly.
Yes, sir. Gray and green, 2 a day. Atlanta to Seattle, Memphis to Syracuse, Frisco to New York and back again, dozens of times. Yep. We played hotels, transatlantic steamers, Berengaria, the Leviathan, the Majestic.
Doesn't this act ever end?
Hear that, Tilly? You got a heckler in the audience. Throw him an Eskimo pie and stand in the light till your spangles blind the hell out of him.
You're making me seasick. Now go on, get out of here.
Yes, sir. Gray and green. We worked steady. I can still hear the conductor calling off the names of the towns in the middle of the night where we had to get off. Romeo, Michigan, Kaukauna, Wisconsin, Culpeper, Virginia, Needles, California.
Get the hook.
Opelika, Alabama. Ooh, the audiences there was so sincere. And then, of course, there was the night we got bilked out of our pay. In a date in Pequa, Ohio. Did you ever hear of Pequa?
Did anybody?
We wish we hadn't.
I don't know how long I can stand this.
Before I met Tilly, I apprenticed in some of the most makeshift situations you can imagine. Yes, sir, yes, indeed. Warehouses, ice houses, whorehouses. Sometimes that trick hurts.
You better go while you're still in one piece. I've had my 75 cents worth.
Why, Mr. Finnegan, I do believe you just paid me a compliment. The next thing you'll applaud.
Not on your life. Now come on, collect your stuff and...
I was just getting to the good part.
What good part?
About how I got started. Joined a high-tone touring entertainment that put on Romeo and Juliet and the broken-hearted Prince of Denmark.
You did Shakespeare?
No, that stuff was reserved for a couple of rapscallions who wore gold crowns and royal robes and called themselves the Duke and the King. Oh, that this too lumpy flesh should melt. You weighed a ton if you ever melted. Oi, what a puddle. No, my job was the intermission. I cheered up the audience.
Oh, yeah, well, that's your story.
Yeah, and I was good. Damn good. Got even better when Tilly and I teamed up.
Oh, yeah, green and gray.
Gray and green. Yes, sir. We gave the audience a little taste of everything. Say, Tilly, tell me, Tilly, did you ever hear about the Peruvian hero that fished out the drowning maiden from the lake? He did. Yep. Married her before the Inca was dry. Say, Tom, what do you call an egotistical guy? Well, I'd say he's knee-deep in conversation. Say, Tilly, did you ever see the Catskill Mountains?
No, but I've seen him kill mice.
Ah, you hear that, Tilly? Yeah, some of the members of our audience got minds like elephants. They never forget a snappy joke. What's that, Tilly? Ah, yes, one last question for this high-class crowd. Tell me, how is sneezing like a Shakespeare play? Sneezing is like a Shakespeare play because it's much achoo about nothing. Yes, sir. And then we'd waltz in a blue light, set to that whatchamacallit Hungarian Rhapsody, with colored lights going berserk and Tilly shaking her arms till all the men in the place went wild. The Des Moines Observer called our act tempestuous.
Tempestuous, huh? Well, I'll have to take your word for it. My wife and I, we didn't get to the Columbia often.
The Columbia?
Columbia Theater in Green Bend. We're halfway between here and St. Louis.
Man, didn't you say you're not even from Hannibal? No wonder my question sounded strange.
Doesn't matter.
To me it does.
Well, now, don't brood about it. Everybody makes mistakes.
Sometimes I think mistake is my middle name. Well, thanks for your time, but I really didn't come here to go into conniptions over the river. Damn, it is a sweet enough sight to break your heart.
Well, have a last look if you want to. I'm sorry that I was so rough with you, but I hate strangers poking around.
Yes, you do. But you know what? I really don't consider myself a stranger. I'm originally from here. A lot more years ago than you'd believe. Touch it up. All the places I've been, all the places of my life, a part of me has stayed riveted to this spot.
Yeah, it's kind of nice up here on Carter's Hill.
Nice. It's a whole lot more than that. No boy was ever happier than I was as a kid up here. Say, I'm trying to track down an old friend of mine I positively got to find. I didn't really expect him to be here, but I had a feeling. Probably should have come here years ago when I was at the top of the heap. Imagine coming home with glory, a headliner. He'd have been impressed.
I'm sure he would have.
He'd have laughed a whole lot more than you did. Yep, he'd have had a picnic. I can't tell you how long and how far I've searched. I want to just look at him and have a drink with him and sit down and have a serious talk about my future.
Texas or Florida or California.
Something like that.
You'd leave the choice up to him?
He's the wisest man I ever knew. He could tell me exactly what I got to do.
You're lucky to have such an authority to turn to.
Oh, I don't mean he was bookish. Nobody was ever less. I see you're probably well educated. You've probably been to high school.
A little more than that.
Yeah, well, I'm a little less. Oh, I went to school, but not for long. And they never made it. Nada. Oh, never heard a name like that before, have you? Short for huckleberry, like the wild shrub on the hill.
Caleb Jordan.
Without even looking, he could have told you what the name of that boat was. When school dismissed, I made tracks from this. Huck could already be here, sitting out staring at the water, sucking on his corncob pipe. I felt comfortable just looking at him. I'd drop my books and turn a couple of cartwheels on my way over here, and I'd climb up and I'd thump down right next to him, and without even looking at me, he'd ask,
What'd they stuff into your skull today?
"Oh, grammar and spelling, and how to write a polite letter holding my lead pencil just so." And then he smiled in such a never-say melancholy way and vowed for the 100th time.
They'll never, ever civilize me.
And I bet they did. Whenever Huck said something, he meant it.
Civilization's a mighty powerful thing.
Those days there was trees, no houses. Up here time didn't count. No homes, no chores to get back to, no grown-up future nipping at our heels, just me and Huck. Sitting here eating stolen tomatoes and churning out a dream future full of plans that wouldn't make sense to nobody else. Did you ever have a friend like that, Mr. Miller?
We've all had friends.
No. I mean a friend, someone who's the other half of yourself. Oh, there's folks you hang around with, and if you needed $5, they'd lend it to you. No, I don't sneer at that, but they're not going to go halfway across the universe to find. Because no matter how much time has slipped by, you're still in your mind. From when you're sitting there on the Mississippi, hatching plots that never panned out and still might.
You talk romantic for a man not holding a glass.
Huh?
I don't expect you to understand. There's plenty of men who never was boys, who never owned a river the way he and Huck did. God, we was millionaires without even knowing it. You're not even listening.
I filled in a new word. It's a good one. Horripilate.
Come again?
Horripilate. It means to get goosebumps.
Oh, my aching back. Well, education is a hell of a thing, no offense intended.
None taken.
Huck knew all the important things. When to build a tree house, when to fish. In his bones, he could sense who to trust and who to steer clear of. And when we got lost in caves, he'd conjure up directions to help us find our way back.
Lost in caves, huh?
He understood dogs and cats' thoughts.
Well, that's peculiar.
To him, it was natural. And when it came to telling you what a dream meant, or how to chase evil spirits, yeah, Huck knew plenty. But Horripilate, no. We should have never been separated. I should have never left.
Did you ever write?
I meant to. I believe I meant to. I just never got around to it.
Something always interfered, huh?
That's right. No, I don't know exactly what. All I know is that we were young and couldn't hold still. Probably him as much as me. Never occurred to me that I might never, ever find as good a friend.
Wasting your time here. You better get back to your search. I wish you luck.
I suppose it's too late to come back now. I left one spring. He must have ambushed shortly after. Either that or got shot and run out. I felt sure our paths would cross before long. I had no idea the size of this world. Every town I played, I always asked folks if they'd seen him.
Discreet inquiries in pool rooms throughout our glorious nation, huh?
I don't mind you making fun. After I lost Tilly, I tapped and glided and joked back and forth across the Atlantic, not a glimpse. Lately, more than ever, I've wanted to find him.
You'll make it on your own. Most of us have to.
I suppose he's a little bit shaky, too. I could just find him. We could just sit and have a talk, the way we used to up there in that lookout.
I wish you luck.
Thanks for your sympathy, but I'm not licked yet. I got one last place to look, and he'll be there.
Well, for your sake, I hope so.
God, if I get all the way to Brazil and Huck ain't there, strike me dead for a fool.
Brazil?
Yeah, he'll be there or nowhere.
That's a long trip to take on intuition. No matter how badly you need advice.
Oh, no, we had a plan from the very beginning. We sat up there with twin telescopes in our minds, and we saw plantations of bananas, cocoa, glittering mines where you tripped over diamonds and emeralds, just reached in and scooped up handfuls.
You were a pair of daydreamers.
Oh, no, we was prepared. One day, me and Huck went to the library while I had old Four Eyes up on the ladder handing me down a history book. Huck took the World Atlas over to one of the tables and pretended to sneeze a lot while he ripped out the map we needed.
Your friend was a vandal.
One of the best. We also made a lot of hand tools. Put them in a big tin box along with $10 silver each. We both passed it back to New Orleans. We buried that box exactly 50 feet northwest of the lookout.
50 feet, you said?
Yep, 50. You can guess what it would have been like if they dug up that foundation, huh? Oh, except that, you know what? I bet Huck took our stuff and made the trip.
You really think so?
I'm positive. Tom, he used to say.
Tom, we gotta light out for the territory before they try and civilize us. We gotta escape, and the further the better.
You mean way out west?
What about Brazil?
Brazil? What do we know about Brazil?
Nothing, but we can find out.
Read books and then go?
No books. Just go fast as we can. Find out there.
Oh, I don't know, Huck. I mean, it's one thing to go over to the island, go fishing for a couple of days, but straying off to Brazil forever?
Come on, Tom, get your stuff. Let's go.
All right, I gotta leave a note for Aunt Polly.
Well, sure, you go ahead and do that. I got nobody to write to. I'll just collect our stuff. We got to get out of here before they...
He'll be there. And I'll find him, and we'll sit by the banks of a river,
The Amazon.
and he'll tell me how to get on with my life.
Can one person really do that for another?
Damn right. Friends are smart about helping each other with their problems. Together, see, there's a balance that a fella alone don't have.
No use traveling all the way to Brazil, Tom. Tom Sawyer!
What'd you say?
Couldn't let you go to Brazil, Tom.
Huh. Is it you? All neat and clean? No rips in your pants, no mud on your shoes?
I'm a regular fashion plate.
You even got the smell of bay rum on you. No, it's not you.
Clean fingernails. And I can spell Heripolate and a whole lot more, but it's me.
Oh, no, it can't be you. You're too different.
Well, you didn't used to dance, and I didn't used to wash.
But no. I can't believe I'd ever be pals with someone like. No. You're too tall and you're too respectable.
Well, don't I, for Pete's sakes, even resemble myself?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, my bum knee. Oh, from that time we dived off the riverbank. Oh, and I hit that jagged old hunk of glacier. And I lie on the deck howling, and then you kept repeating, "Don't die, Huck."
Please don't.
And then you tore the tail off your shirt to tie the wound. Remember all that blood?
Oh, God, you bled like a stuck pig. That was beautiful.
And then for weeks, you made me your dying patient, and you were the famous doctor who worked his darndest to save me.
You sure knew how to look pitiful.
Oh.
Even the dogs and cats wondered what was ailing you.
Oh, remember that time? We found that big black hat laying right next to the railroad
Oh, my
tracks.
God, I almost forgot. Huh? It was just you and me that day with nothing to do until that hat put in an appearance.
Just lying beside the tracks,
Waiting for
innocent as can be.
Find it, yeah.
Oh, and of course, then we had to fight over it to see who could use it first.
It didn't fit either one.
No.
God, somebody sure had a strange big head. God, we took turns wearing it all over town, remember?
I remember standing in a doorway and watching you stagger down Main Street to see if anybody would notice.
Yeah, and then we came up here and you put it on, scared the dogs and the cats.
Oh, I did not.
Oh, yes, you did. You know you did. If you'd had a mirror, you'd have scared yourself.
Oh, and then old Harold and Darcy and who all had to have their turns parading around in it.
But not before we went to my house and gave Aunt Polly a thrill, right?
I can still see her, about ready to fall off the porch steps, shaking her dust mop and yelling, "Huckleberry Finn, you wild boy, you!"
You'll get that monstrosity off this minute.
Oh, stop it. Oh,
God.
oh, I heard. We gotta stop.
That damn hat got boring after a while. How did it end?
Well, you decided we had to do a good deed. Yeah, either hang it in a tree for a bird to build a nest in, or put it on the back of an old freight train passing through town so that maybe it just might find its way back to its rightful owner.
Which did we do?
Oh, you remember?
No, I don't.
Well, sure you do. I gave it to old Jim.
Oh, that's right. Right up here.
Yeah, and he wadded newspaper up inside it, and for years, he was the most stylish member of the Hannibal Abyssinian Baptist Church.
Oh, God, Huck, you and me together again, huh? Same old Huck.
Yeah, maybe so, but you didn't recognize me.
Of course not. You look too good. You talk like a professor.
But that's what comes from slogging through all those crossword puzzles. Come on up on the porch for some refreshment, huh?
Oh, God, I sure could use some of that good Missouri corn liquor to celebrate. Hey, Tom.
I'm Huck.
I'm sorry. You got me all combobulated. Huck, you recognize me.
Almost from the beginning.
But you treated me like a stranger. I mean, almost like an enemy. You were gonna let me leave. Why?
I'm still gonna let you leave with no bullet holes in you. You're a lucky fella.
Aren't you glad to see me?
Yeah. I gotta admit I am. Well, what would you like, coffee or tea?
Coffee or tea? I'm gonna keel over.
Well, sit down. You'll be all right.
Coffee or tea?
It's prohibition, Tom. Oh, God.
At 14, Huck Finn was no teetotaler.
Oh, now don't go bringing up ancient history. I've been Henry Finnegan most of my life, and Henry Finnegan obeys the law.
Obeys the law. No, don't give me that. No, not another word. Not another word
What?
until we have a drink. Until we have a drink.
What do you...
Huh?
Oh.
Huh?
You come prepared.
Somebody has to. Here. Don't that beat the fragrance of a rose garden?
Go get us something to drink out of.
And leave Finnegan in there. Oh. Rivera Kate. 3 letters. Know with that. Here's a good one. Hey, Huck. I finished off a couple of doohickeys for you.
Huh?
37 across, blank, 10-10, and then 49 down, rin 10 blank. It's
Oh,
easy.
much obliged.
All right, here we go.
Oh, not too much.
Oh, there's no such thing.
No. You take that one. Here, go easier on mine. How about a practice?
Oh, okay. Well, here's to beefsteak when you're hungry, whiskey when you're dry, all the girls you ever want, and heaven when you die. The hell with it. Here's to paths that lead old friends back together again.
Oh. Well, here's to Texas or Florida or whatever you decide. Yeah?
Say, Tom, Huck, which would you choose for opportunity? Oh, I've had too much of this stuff already.
I think so. Well, you know, it depends on how much capital you have. You know, every night on the radio I hear astonishing things about Florida. Thousands of tin can tourists pouring in. They say that developers guide you around in motorboats to point out the lots that'll be yours when the land is drained.
Sounds good.
That's all mud.
But it's real estate.
Yeah, but it's changing hands every 10 minutes.
Well, would you ever consider going?
Yeah, no.
Oh, come on, now don't be hasty. If we sat down and we talked it over and we both felt the same way, would you come along? Yeah. Come on, Huck. Let's you and me go to Florida.
No.
Right in California.
No, the only place I'm going is hell.
Well, that was probably our final destination, but there's no rush to get there.
I was born to go there. No matter what I tried, I couldn't help. I know I tried, I failed. Oh, strange part is, I don't seem to be able to stop trying.
You wanted heaven that bad?
Oh, I wanted it from the start. It was the first thing I was told I couldn't have, and it left an impression.
I don't believe what I'm hearing.
Well, I believe what I heard. Tom, they want to run Pap out of town for trash. And they say he better take me with him or they're going to stick me on the back of an old freight train and good riddance to bad rubbish. Well, they say
Oh,
that...
holy Hepzibah, Huck, what do you care what they say? You don't listen to people?
Well, I don't listen. Besides, they're wrong. I got proof.
Positive proof?
Up here in the dead of night, Nigger Jim waved his hand over a hairball out of the fourth stomach of an ox, and he told my fortune. He said, "You're gonna have two angels hovering over you your life, one shiny white one from heaven and one fierce black from hell." He said, "You're gonna have considerable trouble in your life, but also considerable joy." Considerable joy! Oh, Jim, what I wouldn't do to make that happen. I did all the right things. I got educated and respectable, put my ballot in the box and my quarter in the plate every Sunday, and I thought I meant it with my heart, but deep in my bones I knew that if I was back on the river with Jim, back in the days of slavery, well, I want to do the right thing, the clean thing. I don't want people saying that Huck Finn helped the nigger get his freedom. I'll write to Miss Watson. I don't want to end up like Pap. I don't want to go to hell. Dear Miss Watson, your runaway nigger Jim is down here 2 miles below Pikesville. And if you hurry, you... Yours truly, Huckleberry Finn. I can't do it. I can't turn Jim back. I'll go to hell. I tore up that letter 1,000,000 times in my life. Couldn't help it. If my insides told me to do opposite of what civilization says to do, I'd say, "Whoa, Finnegan, think twice." And then I'd plunge ahead.
It's wonderful.
No, it's terrible. You break the law, the rules, and you ask for punishment.
Well, then let's take our punishment.
Oh, no, now don't joke about it, Tom. I'm getting old. I'm afraid. When I was young, I had endless time.
You were the only free spirit I knew. Oh, gee, Huck. We're up here on Carter's Hill.
After a lot of years,
Music still echoes up here, don't it? The barges, steamers, the whistles, the factories, trains going to and from St. Louis. God, I wonder if boys today still ride broomstick horses, duel with yardstick swords that they give away at the lumber.
what happened, Tom?
When?
When you skip town without warning, that's when.
You understood, didn't you?
I didn't understand a thing. I sat up here and tried to figure out why you ran off without me.
I'm sorry, Huck.
You didn't say anything. Hurt worse than when Pap whipped me.
I didn't mean to hurt you.
If I wasn't good enough to run away with you, I was hopeless. I knew I had to change my life or end it. I was so lonely that I let myself be halfway adopted and lived in the house with the widow Douglas.
The widow Douglas?
One night at supper, she said, "Now that you're in high school, you have to decide what you want to be. Become in life."
Should have never left you behind.
She had such a soft, sweet voice that it hurt. Think about it, Huckleberry. What can you do? What are you fit for? I was fit for nothing. I was 15 and I was in such a bad way that I even let myself go and ask Principal Goodbody what I should do.
You had to face old man Goodbody?
He said, Well, you're tall enough to be hanging wallpaper, or since you're not tied down to a family, you might go upriver to Muscatine and work in the button factory. I saw myself picking up clamshells, 12 hours a day for the factory, all the years ahead. That night at supper, I asked the widow Douglas, would it satisfy her if I decided to do what she suggested and go and study at the university? Satisfy me. She said, why, boy, that would be the answer to all my
She
prayers.
sold you on washing your face and burying your nose in a book. She civilized you to pieces. She civilized you to death.
I did what I wanted.
Ah, you were too young to know what you wanted. You was influenced. That's worse than being witched.
I found a way to be free better than lying in the mud. It was a great day when I began at the university as Henry Finnegan.
I like Huck Finn better.
Your privilege.
Henry's the name of an upright citizen, a bank clerk, somebody who bounces your check.
We'll see about summer.
Oh, no, look, don't get sore. You know how I wanted to find you, to be with you, to be like you, to be up here adventuring together.
I was ready as you. When you snuck out of town, I figured you were lining up information or tools for our trip. I wagered Bill Hoskins 2 bits that you would return inside a week. A month later, I bet him again that you would suddenly send me a message to meet you somewhere downriver. Those are the last 2 bets I ever made.
So I've owed you 50 cents for a long time.
No message ever reached me or anybody else. Come up here, stand at the edge, look out, feel sorry for myself. Where did he go? Why didn't he let me come too?
You figured it out when Florence McDaniel had her baby.
Baby? What baby?
You mean she didn't say whose it was? That's why I skedaddled.
Oh my God. That's what it was?
Well, I'm sure she didn't find it so funny at the time, and I sure didn't find it funny. I hated like hell leaving. But if I was going to send a message, I would have sent it to Florence and asked her to forgive me. I couldn't even write that.
Just as well. There was no baby.
No baby.
No baby.
Oh, no, but she's... Oh, my God. You don't know how I've loved that kid. How I've wondered what it was like, whether it looked like me.
Florence didn't have a baby till 4 or 5 years later, after she was properly married to Bill Hoskins. You got tricked and I lost 2 bets. They split that 50 cents between them and lived happily ever after.
I left town for nothing.
Well, you always wanted to be free. You ought to thank Florence for making it possible.
Well, what the hell you find so damn funny?
I don't either, but I just do. Well, it's the dashing young pirate sailing off with fanfare and flags a-flying instead of taking to your heels to escape a shotgun wedding. Was that when you learned to dance?
My running off changed both our lives.
If you had your druthers, would you like to have come back and marry Florence?
No, you, not on your rin-tin type. I never cared onions about that girl. The only reason I got involved in the first place was because she reminded me of someone else.
Becky Thatcher. Yeah, she did kind of look like Becky, not as pretty.
They're moving. Huck. They're carrying all the furniture out to a van parked on the outside of their front lawn. They're going to Pennsylvania. 1,000,000 miles away. I'll never see Becky again. Oh, why didn't they tell me? Why did Judge Thatcher have to accept the offer to go there? Well, when they carried the piano out, Becky was standing there nearby, smiling sweetly and saying, "Please, sir, don't hurt my dear piano." What about me? What am I going to do with her gone?
Yeah, you went a little crazy after she left. I died not knowing what words to say for comfort. But you wouldn't even come up here on the hill and practice outlaw maneuvers with the rest of us. After a while, I figured that you found another girl and everything was all right again.
Well, I found Florence McDaniel and her restless bloomers, but everything was not all right. Some of the lonesomest times in life when you're in bed with the wrong person. Not that Becky and I ever we would even consider it until the right time, which never came. God, I sure could use a good Havana cigar. Well, they say the best way to give it up is whenever you're craving a smoke, have another drink of whiskey. Becky was always on my mind, even when I was with Tilly. That's what caused all the trouble.
What'd you do, talk in your sleep?
Oh, don't I wish? No, I turned strange.
You always were.
No, I got restless, jumpy. Always had doing something. Writing a song or practicing crazy ways to take bows. I'd go on long walks and leave Tilly back in the hotel. See a pretty girl that resembled Becky's delicate look, no matter where we were. The park, or the skating rink, or even on a trolley. I had to meet her. I tipped my hat. Tell her what a nice town this is. Would she mind showing a friendly stranger around? Excuse me, miss. Would you like to go for a strawberry soda? Oh, you have homework in the library. Well, in that case, maybe we could cut through the park and stop for a while and feed the birds. Tell me.
That's enough, Tom. Stop it!
Somewhere in the back of my mind was Becky.
I don't believe it. A growing man following young girls?
Well, if I'd have known you was so perfect, I wouldn't have wanted to come back and see you.
Now, nobody said I was perfect, but there's such a
Turned
thing
into
as...
a goddamn preacher.
I don't think we have anything more to say to each
Oh,
other.
Huck, no, look, I'm sorry I upset you. Look, I need you. We got a friendship.
We had one. You know, I thought about you through the years. I figured that somewhere you were doing something useful and good. I convinced myself that a man named Tom Sawyer had quality, dignity.
And me wasn't born to have dignity.
Speak for yourself. I couldn't live without it. No matter what else I have or don't have, you turn up here all of a sudden looking for a dear old friend. Well, it kills me to see you in that dumbass outfit, swilling bootleg whiskey and telling me your dirty life.
Well, I'm sorry, sir. You have a delicate stomach and I am uncouth. I have made a lot of mistakes, but the biggest one was coming back here to find you are. Sure as hell.
That's right. There is no Huck Finn anymore. I got rid of him a long time ago. I'm Henry Finnegan now, and that's it. I don't ever want to hear Huck Finn ever again. And if you have anything more to say
Says
to me...
goodbye. I know when I got enough dignity to leave when I'm not needed.
Well, here, take your life and your whiskey and all your dirty show business trash and enjoy it in hell and don't leave any of it behind.
Don't worry, kiddo.
And don't come back.
And you couldn't pay me to come back and save your breath for singing in the angel choir.